Okay. Hi, Randy. How are you?
Hi, Douglas. Thanks for having me. I'm great.
Well, thank you for coming on this show. It's nice to have you here. Right off the bat, I've got to ask who wrote your talking points? Did you write them?
Me. I have an incredible publicist named Desiree Duffy who did an incredible job really getting to know me, my voice, and the book, but total collab.
Because these are probably the best talking points I've seen. And I've done 555 shows. So kudos to you guys because these are fantastic.
Well, if you
And
like the talking points, you should pick up the book.
I assume the talking points are covering the book, right? Basically.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, let me just do a little backstory on you. So, you are the CEO of a company called Something Major. Okay, tell us
That's
about
right.
the company. What do you guys do?
Yeah, Something Major is a women's leadership coaching and advisory firm. I'm a huge believer, Douglas, that every woman out there is on the precipice of something major, and everything we do in our company is about getting them there.
Can you give me an example of what somebody might come to you for?
Yeah, absolutely. So I work with women in really demanding, high volume, high unpredictability jobs. Most of them are on the face of it, crushing it at work, but behind the scenes, when nobody's looking, they honestly feel really crushed in the process. And so everything that we do at Something Major, from coaching to programs to retreats to the corporate work that we do, is about really helping women live and lead on their own terms. I actually came up with the name of the company one night when I was tossing and turning in my sleep. I knew that it was time to take this hobby that turned into a passion of mine into something that was really more of a business. And my husband sits up in bed, Douglas, and he's like, just tell me what's on your mind so that we can go back to sleep. And I turned to him and I said, I just feel like I'm on the precipice of something major and I just want to get there. And it was just one of those light bulb moments. I was like, that's my company. That's my mission. It's part of the title of my book. And it's just something that I profoundly believe in for women everywhere.
The book is called The New Playbook. So, is there an old playbook?
Yeah. So, in my book, Something Major, the new playbook for women at work, one of the things we talk about is that Douglas, something just hasn't been working for women. There was this old playbook, this invisible set of rules, if you will, these boxes that we were told that we had to check. But based on the women that I've coached through the years, and candidly, based on all the academic research that's out there, we can unequivocally say that something is not working for women at work. Three things that we need to know, Douglas, to know that that's true. One, there are not enough of us in leadership. Two, we are actively backsliding on every metric there is, especially the pay gap. And three, women aren't happy. So something wasn't working about this old invisible set of rules, this old playbook. And so I decided to write a new one.
Oh, okay, I see. Give me an example because is it really just male dominance that's keeping women back, or is there more to it than just that?
Yeah, I think that we definitely live in a patriarchal, male-dominated society, but I think that the answers are much more complex in the workplace. A lot of women, the workplace was not built for our success. And to be successful in the workplace, so many of us have had to live by a series of shoulds. I should do this. I should do that. And women are just kind of shooting all over themselves, as one of my clients says. And something isn't working. And so, what my book really is about doing is about shifting from should to could, looking at 10 core competencies that I want every single woman to feel empowered to write her own new playbook on. It's not about playing the game by my rules, Douglas, or your rules. It's about empowering women to write their own new rules when it comes to everything from how they want to own their message better at work to set goals that matter for them, not just because it's the shiny object.
Do you think some men are afraid to have women as their equal in a business environment?
I think men can be really powerful allies and advocates for women. So I can tell you in my own experience, Douglas, men actually really shaped my careers. It was men oftentimes betting on me in really pivotal moments of my careers that opened up every single door for me. So I'm less worried about men actively shutting the door in women's faces. And I'm more interested in how men in the workplace can show up to be partners, sponsors, mentors, allies.
So it isn't just a blanket statement to say all men are. It's far more complex, you know.
No, and this isn't about individuals, right? This is about also, systemic and institutionalized norms. Like, just look at the pay gap data, right? Women make 82 cents on the dollar as compared to men. That's a blended average. We know that Black women, for example, according to the National Women's Law Center, make 67 cents on the dollar. So when we think about women in the workplace, we have to think really intersectionally. And we have to acknowledge that my book is not about letting our workplaces and our systems off the hook on making big changes that are required. And I think our workplaces, Douglas, are changing a lot, but that change is happening at a glacial pace. It's going to take 135 years for the World Economic Forum predicts for us to close the gender pay gap. And I don't know about you, but I personally have goals and hopes and dreams that can't wait that long. And so this book is about helping women thrive inside a system that is broken, while we know the system is trying to change. Douglas, last thing I'll say on this, my biggest hope is that my book will be completely irrelevant by the time my first grade daughter enters the workforce. I know most authors hope for an enduring legacy of their book. I hope that when she enters the workforce, this will be a dusty relic on some shelf.
I'm going to go right to your talking points now. It says, Randi, I forbid it list. Things women are forbidden to say at work.
Yeah, what about it, Douglas?
Well, what are some of the words?
Yeah, so one of the things that I've observed in my work is that women are so afraid of sharing their ideas. They're afraid that their ideas are going to be bad. They're afraid that they're going to be judged. And in fact, it was a while back, I was talking to a male tech executive who came up to me and he said, I have a really sensitive question to ask you. There's this incredible woman on my team. She's the first woman we ever put on the leadership team. And she's just constantly putting herself down in meetings when she's sharing an idea. What coaching can I give her? Unfortunately, women like the woman in that room, it's just too common. And so in my book, I talk about 16 things I forbid women to say at work. And I'm not going to give you the whole list, but I'll just give you a few examples. One of them is misusing the word sorry. Douglas, in my experience, women use the word sorry when they mean to say hello, thanks for your patience, excuse me. When we say sorry and we're not truly apologizing, it really just undercuts us. I also see lots of hedging language. So on that list of 16 things that I forbid are phrasing your ideas like a question. So Douglas, if I say to you, hey, have we thought about doing this thing to solve the problem? It's like, I don't know if you're a basketball fan, Douglas, but it's like passing the ball to someone else to let them take the shot on your idea. And so anything that has to do with hedging and minimizing, I got 16 of them in the book that are on that I forbid it list.
How making Taco Bell bathrooms sparkle nearly held one woman back. Tell us that story.
This is one of my favorite stories in the book. I interviewed an incredible, talented, accomplished lawyer named Michelle. Today, Michelle is a really super successful today, Michelle is really, really super successful. And years ago, when she was in college, now she has kids getting ready to go to college, she had her big, shiny internship in the big city, and she shows up at work for 2 days, and the company goes belly up. Internship canceled, but she was paying her own way at a fancy liberal arts school. So what did she do, Douglas? She went and got a job at the local Taco Bell in Parsippany, New Jersey. And being the go-getter that she was, she walked in that first day, and when the manager basically hazed her, as all new hires got, and said, okay, new hire, it's your job to clean the bathroom at closing, she said no one was going to make that Taco Bell bathroom sparkle the way that I made it sparkle. Well, for so many women out there, Douglas, we think that if we do things perfectly, if we do things amazingly, we'll be rewarded. Michelle's reward for making the Taco Bell sparkle was that she got stuck on bathroom cleaning duty at the Taco Bell at closing time every single night for the rest of the summer. And how this pertains to women in the workplace, Douglas, is really simple. So many accomplished women are still cleaning the Taco Bell bathroom, or the proverbial Taco Bell bathroom, in their offices by being so perfectionistic that they're honing in on the non-promotable work, like making sure the lunches are ordered, or making sure that the deck is spell checked, doing what we call office housework, that they're actually holding themselves back. So it's not about not being a team player. It's about making sure that in our desires to be perfect, which by the way is unattainable, that we don't end up saddling ourselves with all this non-promotable office housework.
Well, that's a good point, but how do you balance that? Because you don't want to do such a slack job that they fire you, so you have to be somewhere in the middle with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I also talk about in the book is one of my favorite ways to say no is to take the golden rule of improv at work and say yes and. Yes, I would love to help you review the deck, and I did the spell check the last 4 times. Is there anything specific you're asking me to look for here? Or yes, I'd be happy to look at this. And may I ask what it is that you want me to share feedback on? Just making the person aware that they're asking can be helpful. A lot of times, Douglas, I see women race to just raise their hand because nobody else is raising their hand at the table. Give other people a chance to volunteer. And I think it's always okay to sit down with your manager and say, hey, I just want to talk to you about what my priorities are. I noticed that, we're working on these projects, and when we're not working on these projects, you have me ordering the lunch or spell checking the documents. Can you help me understand what's important about the priorities, right? I think anytime we can ask questions and co-design and collaborate with our stakeholders, half the time they're just not aware. And sometimes just building that awareness is enough. And then sometimes building a boundary or making a proactive suggestion about how something can be more equitable can go a really long way.
What do you think the bathroom cleaner at Taco Bell should have said instead of making the bathroom shine so much that she ended up owning that job?
One of the things, yeah, absolutely. And one of my favorite things that she shared is, today she's a big fancy lawyer in New York City. And she'll tell you that learning how to fold a perfect burrito was one of the greatest life skills she had. I think that she could have used yes and potentially in that situation to say, yes, I'd love to help with the bathroom. And I was wondering tonight at closing time if I could be in charge of cleaning up the burrito bar. Making an alternative suggestion.
Yes, and. All right, that's great. Let's see, we've got just about 2 minutes left. Are you wearing your hot pink pumps?
I'm not wearing my hot pink pumps, no.
Okay, that is on the list. I am wearing my round blue glasses that I always wear on the show. So we all have our little fashion accessories,
But Douglas, I will say one thing. I have a headshot of me that everyone has seen if you Google me on the internet wearing these pink pumps. And for me, I think that this goes to the idea that the new playbook is about your own rules, right? I think sometimes people see those pink pumps and they see them as a sign of classical femininity. For me, I grew up professionally working in some really male-dominated places. I sold technology, so I hung out around the tech bros who wore Patagonias. And for me to be able to walk around my office, my life, my workplace in hot pink pumps is not about femininity versus masculinity. It's about feeling empowered to just be who I am. And I think every single woman out there has her version of her pink pumps. For you, you love your signature round glasses. I just think that we censor ourselves. We do so much editing to fit into the boxes that we think we need to fit into. So I'm just unapologetic these days about walking around in my pink pumps if I want to walk around in my pink pumps.
I think that's fantastic. And you're right. Everybody is trying to be the gray suit anonymous sitting on the subway, and that's just not for me, certainly not for you, and probably not good for the guy who's sitting on the subway in the gray suit.
Yeah, and Douglas, either that or like the inverse is we're struggling to figure out what should my brand be? Who do I want to be? It's like, just let yourself be. Take the time. And I talk about this in my book. Did you get clear about what's actually important to you? The rest of it comes with ease. When you know who you are, your brand is a natural extension of that. For me, the pink pumps, no brainer. Who knows? They might actually even look good on you.
Well, they might. I would have trouble walking across a very soft lawn. I think I would get stuck. But it might make a good little TikTok video. Anyways.
Yeah, who knows? When you go viral, let me know. I want to see it.
Anyways, Randi, we do have to wind this down. We are out of time. Thank you so much for coming on. This was a most enjoyable conversation. Do you have a website that you want to give out?
Yeah, Absolutely. You can learn more about my work at somethingmajorcoaching.com.
And is there links or information about your book on that site? Everything's there?
Absolutely. You can learn about my book. You can read articles for free. You can find me on social media. Again, somethingmajorcoaching.com. And Douglas, thank you so much. This was such a pleasure.
My pleasure. And last question, the book is out now, right? It's available?
The book is being released on March 1st.
Oh, March 1st. Okay. Is pre-order available?
Pre-orders out there right now. So always great to support an author like me with a pre-order. So Douglas, you'll have to let me know if you pre-order hardcover or Kindle.
I will do that. Thank you again. Best of luck.